Hey everyone, thanks again for joining me on Sealed for Good. Today we're talking about the accountability of the applicator, the waterproofing applicator, and I want to have this conversation with our technical manager, Yandi Milans, that many of you know out there. Yandi, thanks for joining me.
How are you?
This conversation comes up lots because you're our main man on the GAPP training, and so lots of questions get asked during the courses on this, but it's a day-to-day occurrence. It often comes up with applicator, builder and certifier asking questions, and it's amazing that people actually, particularly the applicator, doesn't always know, and they get caught holding the can or carrying the can. So a couple of situations that I'm thinking of that have come to light. I remember very, very clearly we had a situation recently where a contractor had used a product. It appeared to be suitable, used it on a balcony. A certifier came along, had questioned the builder about what had been used because he had to sign off on it because certifiers have got their insurance and they need to comply. When they delved into it, the builder then went back to the applicator and said, right, is the product AS4654? And the applicator said, yeah, it is. Here it says on the bucket. Problem was there was no test report that the certifier wanted, and the certifier needs a test report, an independent test report, to ensure that it is.
Yep.
And then what ended up happening was the contractor rang us up, wanted to use the Gripset 38 over the top, and we couldn't warrant the system over what he'd put down there, and he ended up having to pull it all up, start again, pissed off the builder, the certifier, left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, never got that builder's work again, and ended up doing the job 2 or 3 times by the time he had actually fixed it, because he needed to present the documentation. And I think the information that we're seeing out in the marketplace at the moment is that applicators don't actually know or aren't aware that they need to have more than just what's set on a bucket or a data sheet, because they can end up, and these are the things we teach them in the course about having this in their envelope. They should take it to every job their client to actually show the report or the certificate, an independent certificate.
Yeah.
Where have you been seeing that a lot of late?
Well, I've been getting a lot of inquiries from certifiers, mainly from Victoria and New South Wales. That's pretty regular. And the contractor gets called out because they just assume that if it says it on the bucket, or if it's coming through the store, or if it's out there in the market, that it just complies. Because it is one of the requirements that if you're making a waterproof membrane, the only way that it's a waterproof membrane is if it goes through the 4858 or the 4654 test results.
Yeah.
So it's an assumption that they make. It's wrong. And it's no different to when they're going out there and checking what they're applying product to as well. They have to make sure that they're checking and that they have the documentation, they have it in black and white, that this is suitable for their application. Otherwise, like you said, they're the ones that are going to be holding the can.
So, at the end of the day, it's like the same way that you accept a substrate.
Yep.
The applicator accepts a surface,
yep.
Then it's his,
yep.
He owns it, whether it's a remedial job or a new job. If he's using a product, inevitably it's going to be him. And in that situation I spoke about, the supplier just said, no, we didn't say it was independently tested, we just said we've approved it to 4654.
Yep.
You can't self-approve your products. Yes, everyone tests their own product,
yep.
However, at the end of the day, the market and the standard requires compliance, and normally it's an independent third-party laboratory like the CSRO that would actually have a test report, and there's a validity date as well, because it's only got a window. Like, you can't have something from 2015 where 2020 there's normally a 3-year window,
yep.
And then you've got to go through that process again. I've spoken about brands in New Zealand, they overcome that because they keep their certificates valid every year, but this is where this applicator that I'm talking about wasn't dodgy, had intentionally done the right thing, but just assumed, and assumption is the mother of all bloody stuff ups. And so where are the other situations that applicators need to be aware of? Because we talk about accountability, and applicators that are doing the right thing out there are very proud of what they're doing because they're trying to show their client, we can give you a long-term result and I warrant my work. But compliance to the Australian standard, it's like me saying I'm going to buy a vehicle, I go to the dealership says the car is roadworthy according to the Australian standard to take on the road. I get pulled over by the police with defects, and I'm thinking, well, hold on, I bought the car, it said it was compliant. You can't release stuff out there if it's not the case, but the person is responsible who's actually using the product, the applicator.
Yeah. But it all goes back to accountability and the level of accountability that we have in the industry currently. If it was being policed and people were, actively checking that the products are compliant, and it can start with the applicator. If they were to check every product that they're using and that it's suitable for, fit for purpose, and it has all the testing to go along with it, then you'll find that a lot of these products that aren't compliant will either become compliant or they'll just disappear off the market. And that will probably put all of us, lifts the game, and then it puts everyone in a better position. But they should definitely, if they get the opportunity to, and they find that they've purchased product and it's not compliant, is the first thing they should do is send it back and pursue from that avenue.
I mean, would you go the step further though, that you ask your supplier or manufacturer, because this stuff should just be readily available, like within seconds. We get it all the time, guys asking, hey, can we have the certificate on this? And we can give it
straight away.
That you encourage that if you're using whatever the product is, the manufacturer, have it all there, so when you're using that product, you've already got the backup data. And these days you can keep it on your iPad and on your phone, you can show your client, you can email it to them, even scan the certificate and just snap, Photoshop it and just give it to them. So at least that puts their head to rest. And it also educates the builder. So the builder can already save time, because the other thing is that it's the time that kills. Things get delayed. A certifier will hold up a job because legally they've got a job to do. And then it actually costs more money because then you can't finish the job. Now if you're the tiler and the waterproofer, you can't tile now, and that's really where the tiler makes his money, is on the tiling side. So now he's got a job where he can't, he's got to wait to find out if the certifier signs off on it. This is all preparation work and showing the difference between being on the front foot and being potentially caught out. What about when there was one that you mentioned to me about surfaces, like
and that's, again, it goes back to the accountability, and the other problem that we have is that waterproofers and contractors are service driven. So they want to make sure that they're giving the best service to their builder or their client, and sometimes guys decide to do this by making some adjustments or listening and believing the information that they're getting from their client is correct and it's all good. So we did have a situation where a builder had a balcony repair to do, water damage all throughout. They pulled up, it was yellow tongue was a structure with tile underlay, cement sheet tile underlay, which neither of those things are allowed by the standard, or even the manufacturer of those products don't recommend it. He decided to pull up the cement sheet and then just replace the cement sheet on water damaged timber. So then the contractor went there.
What we're talking about, thin?
6mm cement sheet. So just new cement sheet, but same old shit substrate. Timber, and more than likely going to be the same issues within months. Once a rain comes, it's probably going to leak like a sieve straight away. But the contractor went there and said, "Oh no, look, I've got solutions for this. We can work it out." And he went and did a sheet membrane on there. And then they started having issues pretty quickly. There was other things that happened on that job, that self-levelers being used on top of the sheet and all sorts of stuff. But then he got left holding the can because he decided to do it, and then when it all came out that it wasn't the correct way.
So the advice there though, the contract, the applicator again holds the can and he's accountable in that situation. But him questioning his builder first up because he's accepted the surface.
That's right, but also questioning where this could potentially land him as well, because in that situation, it might have been the tiling, and it was because of the self-leveling that the tiler put down that the issues started to appear straight away. So if that job had have continued on, then he would have been up for replacing of the membrane, tiling, and there still would have been the builder's responsibility about the substrate part. It's still a massive cost to him. And ultimately he still had to go back, rip up what was done, big sections of it, and then recode at his expense. So it's, you need to ask the question, is it worth it? Is it worth making this adjustment here or not checking and just trusting the word? You're accountable for your actions.
And sometimes when I've spoken to contractors, even the courses that you've run, I've been there, that the guys say, we might lose the job. It might be better to lose the job than actually do it, because you've made no money. You've actually done a job now and it's cost you time and money and your reputation. And in markets, now, with social media, etc., these guys get sort of caught out. And intentionally, if he's done a sheet membrane, he hasn't tried to go around it in a cheap way. He's tried to do the right thing, but just assume the substrate was fine. And this is where, education is key, keeping up to date with developments. There's a lot of different opportunities now to keep your awareness, your education, courses that can be done.
Yeah.
There's different abilities. Cert 3 is a good start, obviously, for all waterproofers. We suggest that, and tilers are doing waterproofing. But there's different ways to finding information from different manufacturers and also neutral consultants out there that are offering that and being part of it. But it's really important to, I think, understand that if you are the waterproofer, you are the expert, and so you're going to be deemed accountable.
Yep.
And so it's like any trade really, but the waterproofer, unlike other trades, especially in those situations we're talking about, it's sandwiched under tiles, and so there's a big cost involved from that. Shandy, what's the advice that you're going to give to some of the guys that, or to applicators in general? What's the lesson out of this? Besides, I've said they might look at courses and awareness, but is it knowledge and information that's the power for them now? Because they can
information knowledge is definitely where their power lays, and seeking out the sources of information and going direct to those sources, not just relying on the word of the supervisor or the builder or
even the manufacturer.
That's well.
Because even for us, I know our position is don't believe us. Here's an independent report. Take that, and that way it puts their peace of mind for them.
Yeah, when it comes to compliance, definitely. But if you're seeking out, what best systems to use, that sort of thing, definitely go straight to the manufacturer. Things that are compatible. Substrates, you're not sure. Again, the information's out there. It's just Google it. You'll be able to find whatever substrate you're working on. If you can't, that should be the first alarm bell. But yeah, just seeking out the information and keeping up to date, upskilling. Go along to do whatever training sessions are available to you, and align yourself with the type of people that give you confidence to knowing that you're getting the right information.
Okay. And look, any guys that are interested in doing that, obviously Shandy runs the GAPP program around the country. But look, Shandy, thanks for joining me on this episode. It's been good. If anyone wants to get hold of any more information on that, they can call 1-800-650-435 or any of our Gripset team around the country. We'll see you next time. Be part of that change. I'll see you then.